I wouldn't do that to you guys. Welcome to Practical Shooting After Dark. We're here to talk about practical shooting. It is now after dark. I'm sitting here in my jammies. I mean, for all you know. Well, joining me today, Mr. Joel Park. Say hello.
Hello.
And Mr. Chick Kim.
Aye.
Aye. Man, we're getting a little ahead of schedule on recording, which makes me happy. I think this episode won't drop until about October, which is good.
Oh.
Nice.
Yes, Kim and I, we have been hard at work on Practical Shooting Training Group content
Yes.
for you all. So when that goes live, you will hear it here first, and if you want to, you can subscribe. But more on that in a future episode. Today, we have other things to talk about. You guys know the rules. You come to me with a topic. This week in shooting, you talk about something you did shooting related, or something that triggers you, or, well, what else would you want to talk about, Joel? You could show and tell about an item.
Yeah, like how awesome your paster gun is, exactly. Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. I mean, not my specific paster gun. That would be ridiculous if you stole my paster gun.
Yeah. Who would do
yeah.
such a thing?
I don't know. It should be criminal. I think it actually is. Anyway, let's get into it. Who would like to go first?
I can start up. I can fire it up.
Yeah, fire it up.
Yes.
He's already
So-
fired up.
If you are looking at the video, you're looking at Leupold Delta Point Pro 2.5 MOA.
That's the one you told me to buy. That's the best one.
Yes.
Right? I bought two of those.
It's the best one on the market. I like how bright the optic is and how sturdy it is. Big window. But I have three of them. All three of them were sent to the factory. Well, two of them are up and running after factory trip. And then the third one is not coming back home. They're like, oh, the waiting time is a month and a half or something like that.
That sounds
So
reasonable.
I don't know when exactly I'm getting it back. But this is supposed to be the best optic on the market, so to say, for pistols. It's very well built. I like it a lot, but it's keep breaking. Just keep breaking. I think all three of them started breaking after about in between 8,000 rounds to maybe 15,000 rounds, something like that, or less, something like.
All right. So before you go any further, I want to point out, or at
Yes,
least discuss, like, I don't think this issue is limited to the Leopold ones.
exactly. That's
would
why
agree.
I want to talk about.
Okay.
So all the pistol optics, if they are on the slide, where it's cycling back and forth really fast, I think any of the optic are able to go over 20,000 rounds or something like that. So I think somebody should make one. Somebody should make one really that works. Especially I'm shooting a factory recoil spring. Maybe they could a little bit harsh on the optic too. So I really appreciate if somebody makes a real reliable pistol, optic, because two of them actually it went down as I was shooting a match. Fortunately,
What?
both. Yes. Fortunately, the first one went down in a local match, but then the second one went down in a major match at
no.
an area match.
Oh, but
So
you
I
won
have to
anyway,
swap my
right?
gun. Yeah, I
Wow.
did.
Well, fuck you then.
So somebody make a good one.
Holy crap.
I tried other optics, two other optics, not extensively, but I find Delta Point Pro still lasts the longest, but still it's failing.
I
I
mean,
don't like
just
that.
think about what you're saying. Like,
Mhm.
that piece of equipment, you have what, I mean, as far as what I hear, like, those
Yeah.
are the ones that I own,
Yes.
right? Like, that's the one, I have those. I haven't broken mine. I like rack mine off metal tables and shit. Like, I don't care. If it breaks, it breaks as far as I'm concerned. But I think that generally that's the one that I hear a lot of good things about. And you
Yes.
still fucking grenade them all the time.
Yes.
Left
what I'm
and
saying.
right.
Mm-hmm. So
I have a-
if
they
anybody
suck.
shoots it close to 10,000 rounds, oh, you gotta be careful.
So,
You
so
better buy
what's the
back.
move then? So you put a new one, you put a fresh one on a gun, and shoot 1,000 rounds through it, and then you take it to a major match, right? Like that's the move.
Exactly. So I separate the major match only optic on a major match only gun.
All right, so this is like the magazines. This is like the magazines for open and limited guns, which are
Yes.
all stupid as far as I can tell, right?
Yeah.
Like,
No comment.
what do you mean no comment, Joel?
Yeah, they're dumb.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
like-
it's basically like you start making the tubes a certain length, and you want to stuff a bunch of rounds in there, and then you have a flat follower.
A very specific spring and a very specific follower, and you have
Yeah.
to load the magazine in a very specific way.
Yes, and
Yes.
and you have to really look after the magazines, or it doesn't work.
Mhm.
It's the same issue, right? Like nobody's really has a solution that works properly.
Yeah. So if anybody should carry optics, better have a backup.
And
don't touch the backup. Just zero the sight and then go shoot the match and don't touch it again. Don't train with it.
I have a
It's
friend
fine.
that put a non-loopholed on a M&P core, and he shot like not a heavy shooter, like maybe 1,000 rounds. It took a dump. He sent it back to this company. They sent him a second one, and then I think on the third one, they's like, our sights just aren't holding up. Why don't we just give you a refund? Like they stopped
they
exchanging
gave
them
up.
out. Yeah,
That's a smart move.
Yeah, no, that's what they should do is just give up on that.
they just gave him his money.
Yeah. And also when I called the company and I told them, hey, I'm a competition shooter. I have a match coming up soon. And what I heard from the operator on the phone was, oh, if I make an exception for you, I have to make an exception for everybody. So
Well,
that
no,
was
that's
my
not what
experience
being-
that I
that's-
was not
that-
happy with.
Well, that's not what an exception is. I don't think this person fundamentally understands what you were asking for. You were asking for special treatment.
Yes, faster return.
Yes, faster than everyone else. You're like, no, I want you to make an exception and then not make an exception for other people.
Yeah.
And then just keep it between us. I mean, maybe she just didn't understand. You need better English.
Next time, just say like, "Do you know who I am?" and raise your voice.
No, nobody knows me. So.
Well, the one thing I'll say about the optics is it is funny. I'll be charitable and I'll say it's funny how a lot of the Timmies, the tactical crowd, a lot of these guys are putting the optics on their guns and they're like, yeah, like this optics thing's the way to go. You know, the tactical Timmy guys. I've had guys show up in USPSA classes that are kind of more tactically oriented and shooting a gun with an optic on it. I mean, and I could tell it's like their first time really shooting it properly, like shooting a lot through it. And usually by the end of the class, they're like, yeah, this is not a very good idea for like carrying around. Because they've like grenaded their optic or it like it's not holding a zero. Or I'm like, okay, weekend shooting time, and they pick it up, they can't find the dot, and they're like, oh, like this seemed like a good idea, but now that I'm actually using it, there's a lot of drawbacks to this.
Yes.
So that is another thing that I find funny. These things they just I don't think they're designed for that, man.
Nope.
I like the ones that at least have the backup irons. You have kind of training wheels to find the dot, or if your dot takes a dump, you just shoot the rest of the stage with iron sights.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. That's been a serious thorn in your side shooting carry optics, Kim. And your experience is not at all unique. Not at all.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, that is a bummer. I think the optics will improve over time. I think it might take some time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, excellent. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Mr. Joel.
All right.
What
This
would you
week
like
in
to talk
shooting.
about? This week in shooting.
I went to a
Amazing.
match. Yeah, I had a good time. More important than the shooting, I was just kind of reflecting on the drive home as I'm spacing out, thinking about shooting in the match and stuff. The things that I really like, this match did, and the stuff I'd like to see more at matches. So one of the things they did that I really like was they have kind of a social aspect to the match, which not everybody wants to hang out. I get it. But they had, so I got there like 6 o'clock to walk the stages. They had food trays out with like lunch meat, cookies, pop. I think they had beer. I don't know. You booze, you lose. But for people that like drinking beer, they like all these free drinks, all the stuff in coolers. Just help yourself for free, just to hang out with the fellow shooters. If you want to hang out after you get done walking the stages, like here's dinner for free. I think that was pretty cool. Like, it's people that I don't normally see, maybe from other states. So just to hang out as a group, I thought was cool.
Okay.
Free lunch was also included with the match, which I think is cool. It was catered in. They gave you options like you have a hamburger, hot dog. I remember they had some other option, and they gave you like all these trays. It was like lunch at a high school cafeteria, more or less. All this hot food.
That's
If
just
you want
what I
to,
need.
yeah, if you want to eat heavy, yes. If you want to, though, it's there for you. That was cool, included. I also like having a balanced, just a test of skills. So like strong hand, weak hand, close in hosey stuff, long distance stuff. A match that has varying stages from stage to stage, so it doesn't feel like you're shooting one stage 12 times. So
Okay. You
I
like
like
those
short,
things.
yeah, short, medium, and long stages. I also like that. So
Like that.
yeah, I like a good variety. So one match I went to, they had on one bay, they have a short course and then they have a big field course behind it. So you're guaranteed you're not shooting long field courses back to back. So it's just cool. I like the variety.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah,
Variety is key, man.
for sure.
I think a lot of times stage designers don't look at they look at it as designing a stage and not designing a whole match where the stages sort of balance each other,
Yes.
that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
I like it.
The only thing I would complain about is I think, like we said earlier, I think Virginia count needs to go away.
Well,
We were talking
didn't
about
say that
yeah.
on the podcast earlier.
We did not say that on the podcast, but I do not like that.
You don't like
I-
Virginia count.
No.
That went away in IPSC a while ago, and I do not miss it. I do not remotely miss it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really don't like. Other than that, just a nice balance, a variety of stages.
Yeah.
Pretty easy going. Yeah.
Fantastic. Kim, anything to add to that? Anything you like in matches?
Yeah, that sounds kind of like IPSC style because IPSC there's mandatory short, medium, long course,
Mm-hmm.
so more variety of shooting. It just like you said, it doesn't feel like shooting same stages 12 times when I shot IPSC styles.
Yeah.
I think if I had like a suggestion going forward is maybe I think at clubs or like big matches, maybe 12 different people, they all organize a stage and they put them together. And I'm wondering if maybe they all had the same idea. So maybe like a long-term solution would be communicating, hey, I want to do, you get a short course, you get a long course, you have the medium course, you like assign those out or starting position, something like that. So you don't have like a bunch of table start matches or a bunch of unloaded starts. So that way
Well-
you kind of like divide up and get maybe assure a variety that way.
Well, one thing that you could do, if you were so inclined, because I know a guy, way back in the day, I used to be like my home club had the area matches and the section matches, so I got more involved than I cared to be in that stuff. One very useful thing that works in terms of designing a match is to take all the challenges that you want in the match. Like, hey, I want a couple low shooting positions. I want long shooting a couple times. I want a little bit of hosing in a couple places. Some partials. Blah 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 blah. Like all the shit that you want to have. You can just take all that stuff and you kind of get a sense for how many stages you can have based on staff, how you want to run them. Like you could do 2 up short courses in the same bay, or that kind of stuff. If
Yeah.
if you have the right staffing and the right training, so you kind of decide what you want the match to basically look like, and decide what challenges you want in there, and then sort of shop out the specific designs for for people. So you're like, hey, I need a short course, and these are, if you want some activators, like this is what I have to work with, and this like, oh, okay, cool. So then people kind of like build the thing,
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Yeah, and it works well. The hard thing is the match director has to let people build stages that they would not themselves build or don't even necessarily like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like you just have to let it be. Like a big part of you just have to let it be its own thing, or let it be different to your taste, because that makes the match better in a way. It makes it more variety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is I've seen that work really well in the past.
I like that idea. And then, of course, we have to mention there needs to be water on every stage. And if there is not water, I heard from some friends, a match I did not go to, they did not have water there, and they didn't publish that. So people went to this match, and they didn't have water, and
They
they
were
assumed
mad,
there
huh?
was going to be. So, yeah. Like,
See, but
you know how
just think about
assumed is spelled out,
but think about how much damage Hopkins has done then. Like now the
yes,
assumption is there will be
yes.
water.
But
He's like
I,
set the standard.
I like that. But if you're not going to have water, you need to let people know to bring their own stuff.
I mean, even still, it's all about Hopkins. Like he's really driving the discussion here.
Yeah. Yeah, and exit out the back of the stage. Exactly. He's changing the sport.
He's changing the game.
Yes.
I mean, we got that flip flop rule passed for me, and now water. Like really making a deep impact here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Anything else to talk about?
The last thing is I like where they upload the scores very often. Think of one match I go to where there's like a dude walking by that bay. It seems like I don't know the details of how they do it, but it's like via Wi-Fi. They're syncing up the tablets. So like every 30 minutes to 45 minutes, the scores are being uploaded. So you're not waiting 4 hours or 8 hours to see them all uploaded in one chunk throughout the day. If you wanted to track where other people are at, if you wanted to do that, you'd have that.
I think that's going to help competition too.
Well,
See
it
what
also
it's-
helps with the verify.
Yeah.
Like I recently, I've shot at majors where they don't post interims,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like if you shoot like on Friday and then you leave, and something's desperately wrong with the scores, like your opportunity to, maybe there needs to be a reshoot, maybe something needs to happen, like you're gone, and
Yeah.
then you don't see the interim results. Like that is not great. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Good.
Yes. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Yes.
What would you like to talk about?
Well, I didn't have much to talk about. Well, I mean, I kind of have too much stuff to talk about, but Joel, you helped me narrow my focus. So a good topic, and this is kind of Joel's idea, is
Kind of.
it is entirely Joel's idea. Um, Joel, you started teaching a little bit in a volunteer capacity.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it teaching as much as organizing like a training group. So I'm there. I set stuff up. This is what we're going to do. If you want input from me, I will help you. If you don't, I will stay out of your way and you just shred these targets.
You're a nicer guy than I am, Joel. Yeah, so this has been good for you, good for your development.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a fair bit of experience teaching. It is my life's occupation. It's been all I've done for a long time now, like a long time. So I guess your question, Joel, would be, has this helped my shooting? And if so, how much, right?
Yep.
Well, it helps shooting in that I think the number one thing that it helps me with my shooting is giving me a lot of perspective. So when I see people shooting, it's kind of like you can look at a guy as a shooter, and then you know how I like to say, like, don't think about it that hard. Just look at the shooting problem, or look at what's happening here, and then a couple quick, like 2-3 things that you would change about this person, or you think they should do for training, or you think they should work on, blah blah blah. Just like, here's what you think real quickly. Just look at the big picture. Look at it from 30,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good approach for helping people, but it's so difficult for people to look at themselves that way. And it's taken me a long time, but me being a little thick-headed, but I'm getting to the point where I can look at my own shooting that way, and it's like kind of like, whoa, like what would I just tell some dude to do? Like what would my feedback be if I was just watching dude who is me is watching myself shoot, and what would I tell me to do? And I do that stuff. So like I kind of make a point now of doing the same exercises, the same sorts of drills, the same training focuses that I have other guys doing, and then I'm always thinking in terms of like, okay, what feedback would I give to this person? What would I tell them to do? So it really helps in terms of perspective, like just looking at the big picture and not getting too wrapped up in nonsense. The other thing that helps is like I see people practice and get better or learn stuff, and that kind of motivates me in a way because I'm like, hey, there's still some meat on the bone for my shooting. As always, like I still want to get better. So it gets me super motivated. I don't really get burned out from teaching. I get like more motivated to go shoot. If that gives you, if
Yeah.
that's an example for you, like for example, I'm at home now doing private training. I will go to the range and I will shoot for 90 minutes before my people show up for private training. So I will practice before people show up, and then do training, for an 6 hour day or whatever, and I'll shoot with them all day. And then when I leave, I would still hang out and shoot if I have time. I have. It's good. It gets me really motivated. It gets me juiced up.
Yeah. I also like seeing how different people learn differently. I found that interesting also, or just how they train in general. So sometimes it might be something that I want to try for my own training. So just people learn differently.
Yeah, and like the most productive learning experiences for me have been when, like if I'm shooting with Wansik or something, it's like, hey, you run the training now, or like you run it, we do it your way. It doesn't matter what I think about it, and there you go. Learned a lot from that. So Kim, speaking of that, today was the first time doing shooting on the move training in your style, where we just pick one variable and then toy with it,
Yep.
and it was very helpful. So well done,
Awesome.
sir.
Thank you.
Not
It's a
that,
fun way to do it too.
yeah, Joel, you have no idea what we're talking about, do you?
No. Is this
Yeah.
the drill? Is this the drill where you stood in one spot, you shot 5 targets, got a time, and then you were
No.
moving?
No,
Okay.
that was just nonsense. Kim, explain to him shooting on the move training your style.
Yes. So, in my opinion, so I basically shot pretty much all the drills that Ben's book has, like the skills and drills book, and I find even extend to other drills on the market. Above all, I personally think doubles drill is the most important drill because
Yeah.
you're forced to shoot at a really fast pace, and also you're forced to shoot alpha zone. And even if it's alpha, I would like to have it as tightest group as possible when I shoot doubles drill. So with that speed and accuracy you shot in doubles drill, you're gonna be shooting that on every single target while shooting on the move. So for example, we're gonna make a couple targets here and there, different distances. So based on our doubles drill knowledge, so we can shoot 5 yard, whatever pace, how many alpha, up to 25 yards, right? So doubles drill 5 yards to 25 yards, and then we're gonna mix the target, probably like 5, 6 targets, something like that or more, in different distances. So as you can shoot that doubles drill standing, you're gonna be able to shoot that while moving. So we are basically copying and paste whatever we felt on our arm tension or how we felt on the front sight in doubles drill, exactly copied and pasted in shooting on the move. And I've been doing that not only shooting on the move, but transition drill and all kinds of drill. I'm copying and pasted doubles drill to any drill. So I am forcing myself to shoot what, point 0.2 splits at 25 yards like a doubles drill while shooting the move. That's very fun way to do. And then
crazy.
also, yeah, if you can do doubles drill while shooting on the move, your shooting on the move skill will be crazy good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like it.
yeah,
Actually, that's a really good way to push your speed too. Push your speed, but maintaining that accuracy.
So look at that, Joel.
Wow.
This is what I learned from training with crazy people. Never stop learning, people.
I'm impressed. I might have to try that.
It's fun. Yeah, the key is actually maintaining all the tension in while moving.
Okay.
That was the big key to do it for me.
Kim,
Yeah.
you're just a smart dude. I like it.
Thank you.
Well, he's smart, but it's good to get a different person's perspective on how things go. So anyway, teaching is helping with that a lot. So yeah, any other place you go with that, Joel? Or have we covered the topic to your satisfaction?
I think that's about it. You feel it's made you better. Do you think?
It hasn't made me worse, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So it's been beneficial for you, and you've helped people out along the road. Boom, win-win.
Yeah, it is. it is beneficial for me. The one thing that I think a lot of shooting instructor types, the problem they have is they get very sort of dogmatic, and they, I mean, let me put it this way: if they don't get a result they want from somebody, or they're not clicking with a personality, or whatever, like somebody's questioning something they're saying, like they end up getting sort of dogmatic, and after a while they kind of, I feel like they turn into BOCs and they kind of stop learning. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's kind of a thing, and I try hard not to be that person. Like always be learning and open minded, and sort of be plastic with my shooting style, where I can learn new things all the time. I think that's helpful, and not to think that you know it all, because I haven't met that person yet.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Well, you're very welcome, Joel. All right, guys. I don't have any questions to go to right now, so we're gonna have to call it quits. Sorry about that, listeners. Well, I'm very sorry. Like, I just don't have any. So if you have any questions you want the answer to, go to bensigger.com. Send me your questions. We'd love to answer them for you. Joel, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Kim, thank you even more for coming on, because I know
Thank
you're a
you.
busy guy.
Love you.
Oh, man.
Love you, Joel, too.